Hi, y'all? I love y'all. Hey, y'all just been so faithful. Y'all just been, listen, coming on. I got a few people that's coming on that's rocking with me. I need y'all to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this broadcast with somebody else so they can get out. I just want to say something. Like, have y'all ever been in a spot where it just seemed like stuff just kept happening? You're like, okay, God, is this what you want from my life? Am I not giving what I'm supposed to be giving? Am I okay? Like, what's going on here? We gonna dive into y'all. I promise y'all. I was gonna give a testimony, but I feel like this is what's going on with me as well, guys. So we are literally coming on this podcast and just we both receiving today. We both receiving. So what we're talking about today is rejecting familiarity and accepting God's unfamiliar place. And y'all, it's such a, when I think about this, because so many people are so wrapped around familiar. Like, I think we find comfort in familiarity. Like, we be like, oh, I'm comfortable right here because I know what to do. I know what's coming. I know how to be. I know how to do. And we get afraid of that unfamiliar place with God. But we gonna dig into it. The scripture that I have is from Hebrew 11:8. It says, by faith, Abraham, when called to go to a place he would later receive as inheritance, obeyed and went, even though he did not know where he was going. Y'all, by faith, Abraham, when called, because it's going to be an appointed time, when called to go to a place he would later receive as inheritance, obeyed, and when he just went. He heard the Lord and called him, and he just went. He obeyed and went. It wasn't no struggle. It wasn't nothing. He just obeyed and went. Even though he did not know where he was going. He was blind to the fact that I don't know exactly what's about to happen. I don't know exactly what's going to be here. I don't know exactly what obstacles, what love, what likes, who going to like. Like, he did not care. He literally just by faith. Because I think also the greatest thing with this transition that we're facing is the faith. A lot of times I think we don't get to that next point because we don't have that faith. He said he started off with by faith, Abraham. So he had to have that faith. He had to have that faith. I'm sorry that somebody need to hear that. Maybe me. Familiarity is knowing a person, place, subject, or situation well enough that it feels recognizable or comfortable. So because you know that, you think you know that person, you know how they gonna act, you know what they gonna do, you know this, you know that, you know that. So you familiar with this person, you like, I'm gonna rock with this. Like, for instance, it's always be like, you know how like people be like, and I know this is a little off subject, not really, but you know how people be like, I don't wanna talk to a new person because the old person, although this old person that your ex or your friend or whatever this is, although you know that they are annoying, you know that they are not it, you know that they is a cheater, you know they beat you, you know any of that, but because you're so used to familiar, you like, I'm gonna just rock with these people. Although you know in your spirit that God is telling you not to rock with them no more, or God is telling you to leave them alone, but because you comfortable, because you don't know what's going to happen if you release them, or you don't know what's going to happen if you release it or him or them or whatever the case may be. So you stuck in this familiar place. And that's why these cycles continuing to happen to you and to me. And we're just continuing in them. Y'all listen, when I tell y'all this is about to be good. So, first point, God often hides destiny in unfamiliar territory. When I tell y'all, this is so true. It's It's so true, because the thing about, and let me tell y'all something. Because Leslie is a wonderful person to me, right? Although, everybody have their ups and downs, but she's a wonderful person to me. And I would have been surprised. I was surprised that I met her in a place where I'm working. Like, we working. We like working. We like literally working. We just had a conversation, and then boom. It was an unfamiliar place to her and me. First of all, because we both was like, we done with friends. That's number one. And then number two is because we was at a work environment and we talking about stuff that we probably shouldn't be talking. You know how people is with religion and stuff like that. So that was one thing. And then y'all, destiny, period. Like, when you think about destiny, you think you're going to meet destiny in a place where destiny's supposed to be met. But it'd be like, huh? How am I at the movies and a person got, like, what? Like, it's so surprising. Anyway, familiarity can become spiritual bondage. Jay, why? Why, Jay? Because familiar people, environments, or whatever can stop growth because we no longer require faith. So we no longer require this faith because we already know what's coming. We already familiar with this. We like, okay, I know how they about to react, so I already know what to do. I already know how this about to feel, so all right, I already know how this. But what about taking that risk? What about, because you spend the $500 on hair, how about spending the $500 on investing in what you need for whatever God is telling you to build? Like, to me, I feel like we have placed our money, our sacrifices, our risk, everything in familiar places because we scared of success, or we scared that unfamiliar place is going to take us somewhere that we want to go. It's so strange. It's so strange because it's like, in your mind, you're like, oh, I want success. I want to win. I want this. I want that. And then you go back to that familiar place because it's comfort. It's like, oh, I want to go there. But you so stuck here in that slave mentality because it's like, but I'm really scared though. Why are you scared of success? Why are you scared of the next level? Why are you continuing to go back to the past and it broke you? Why are you continuing to go to things or respond with the same things if it did not work the first time? We in that familiar place. We in that place. So it's like, I don't know how to move forward. I don't know how to become everything God told me to become because I'm scared. But he said in his word about 350 times, fear not. What we scared of? If we say that we are women and men of faith, what are we afraid of? What are we scared of? What are we really scared of? It's something we scared. And it's so crazy, y'all, because when I was thinking about this subject, reject familiarity and accept God's unfamiliar, it goes so deep. Like, when I was thinking about it, I'm like, when you think about familiar, even with, and I know it's probably all types of races on here, but even as the black community, we so into slavery in our minds that we don't ever take chances. We don't, and probably Mexicans, whites, or whoever, we never take chances. We never risk the $500 on investing in crypto or investing in things that we will probably give us the wealth we need or give us the mindset we need. Going to therapy, we never take risks. We stay in this really familiar place because it gives us comfortability and it gives us control. Lose the control because ultimately the control belongs to God. Ultimately, that was free. That was free. How many people are emotionally attached to places God already called them out of. Literally attached to people and places God literally called you out of. God freed you from that place. Why are you still there? God freed you from that person. Why are you still there? Because, Jay, it's the familiarness that creates comfort that you're still there when God told you to. How many people are emotionally attached to places God already called them out of? You scared about what people gonna think about you. You a people pleaser. You need validation on what God is telling you to do. Do what God told you to do. Stop being a coward. Have the courage to do what God told you to do. Whatever that may be. God often speaks through disruption. I remember I used to be like, dang, why do people be having such a mean face? I never understood. Just smile if you don't know how your face is looking. I used to walk in a mall and I would literally compliment people to put a smile on their face because they just looked mad. And when we came to the conclusion that when you say hey to somebody or whatever, it kind of disrupt. I think that's the same thing that God does. He try to put you in a place to where you disrupt the system, or you disrupt what you're used to, or you disrupt the mindset that you have by choosing to choose God and choose his ways. Because our ways ultimately isn't his. So we when you think about that, God often speaks through disruption. He speaks through it. He speaks through it. So when you experience a breakup, or when you experience a thing to where you feel a way, today, y'all, I experienced that. I experienced a shift. It was so strange. It was a shift. I experienced something that was like, it was something holding on to me and it let go. And then it almost felt like a heartbreak, but a heal. Like it was like release, let go, and do what you do. It was a disruption, but it was a click. It was like, oh, got it. No bad blood with no one. Got it though. And not just got it though with the people, got it though God. Thank you. Because the thing about it is, even when we get though in those emotional spots, or even when we get in those spots to where we don't know what to do with it, I literally had to rest in my bed for probably about 2 to 3 hours to actually not even understand, but just to sleep that off. Because if I would have been around people or whatever the case may be, I kind of still woke up with it on me. But I'm like, no, I'm refusing to live like that because I'm not that. Other people can be that. I'm just not that. So I'm going to, whatever I felt, leave that alone, and we're going to go on with the day. But sometimes disruption comes so that you can hear that click, or that click can introduce another level of you, or also so that click can change the way you view things, or change the way you are accepting things, or change the way that the click. I don't know how to explain the click, y'all, but the click is that unfamiliar, place with God. I think that click is, if you familiar, you would be you probably would have. If I was be honest, I probably would have called people, right, and asked questions. That's what familiarity was to me. Let me call you. You good? Like, you okay? Everything okay? That was the familiar place. The unfamiliar place where God had me. Oh, let me call Bestie. See what she talking about. See how she do. And then let me also think about this and sleep on it. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Because one thing we got to do is we got to call people that's going to speak back into your life who you are, or be there for you in that moment like never before, kind of, so that you can get over that hump. Or even if you're not over the hump, just, so it can make sense. You need your people. Unexpected transitions can be preparation, not punishment. And I'll continue to say, when I tell y'all, when I got divorced, it was very, 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 very unexpected. When I had my baby, it was very, very unexpected. It was very, very unexpected. Also, just a lot of things that happened in my life was unexpected transitions. But that prepared me for this moment, also for the moment that God has for me. At first, I thought it was punishment. I'm like, you took, like, my marriage gone. I got this baby, which took my life from what I knew. Never was a woman that, and I'm being very transparent right now, vulnerable. Never was a woman that didn't have everything. How did you? Normally, when people probably experience that, they would have gave up on God. Just to be completely honest, and blamed him. But it was not punishment. It was preparation. And to be completely honest, if I probably went through the divorce without my baby, it probably would have been a little bit weirder than that. It would have been a little, but she showed me love through that. So it was like God still gave me a covering. Although it was a baby, but it still was love that I've never imagined I'll even receive. It was a love that I never felt before. It was a love that I was like, oh, she just loved me unconditionally with no conditions, just because I'm her mom. It was wonderful. So unexpected transitions can be preparation. And even right now, I still feel like I'm in preparation. I don't think it's punishment. It's just preparation for the next level. God may remove certainty to build dependence because everybody feel like they just certain of their life. You're not. You feel like you just got it. You just, I can, all right, bro, I can. You're not certain of your life. Sometimes when you feel as if you're certain, that's a bad place. Because ultimately, we're supposed to depend on God. Our dependency is God. So when you feel like you know it all and all that junk about, okay. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Because ultimately we don't. We have to depend on the Lord. So God may remove that certainty. I know, God, this is what you want for me. So you can depend strongly on him. That used to be, y'all, when I tell you, I was literally venting the other day. And I said, it's so crazy because I was like, everywhere I go, I'm popular. But I still sometimes feel a little alone. I do. And I was a little bit complaining about that. And somebody said, that's honestly because, and it was messed up. It was like, what? That's honestly because God is your first love. I'm like, bro, that's corny. Like, you telling me everybody else can have all these friends. Everybody else can have this man. But I gotta just. But what she said was, you have to submit to God's. She said you have to submit to God so that he can bring all of that. Because if we're chasing people or if we want to be around people, the very thing we want to be around will disappoint us every time. Not every time. But when you are fully just dependent on or needing validation or needing it, it will kind of disappoint you. So when she said that, I was like, oh. And she was like, it's almost as if God or people will put God second and people first. But that's why you don't got the people. And I was a little annoyed by that because I'm like, so you telling me the reason why all my people ain't came yet is because of my submission to the Lord? I thought I was submitted. I guess not, sis. It was a bad reality, y'all. I was on that flow, like, the unfamiliar place forces intimacy with God because you can no longer rely on autopilot. When you in this place and you like, what is going? You don't see nothing. The only thing God gave you is a glimpse. That's the only thing you have. But everything seemed chaotic. So you like, you showed me this glimpse, but this is happening. All right. Like, oh, all right, God, what is it that what do I do? That intimacy. When you feel something or not even feel, when you believe, God, I don't know what this is. I pray that you show me, strategically show me what is happening. Even if you don't show me what is happening, God, gear me or allow me to be everything you want me to be in this moment. I don't know what this moment is requiring of me. So I pray, God, that I don't emotionally get myself involved with what I'm familiar with and that I reject that. But I fully depend on you. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to sleep because I can't depend on these crazy emotions that I'm having. I can't depend on what other people depend on. So I depend on you, Lord. Give me the power, give me the strength, give me the anointing that you want me to have in this moment, because I will not fumble the bag again. I will not fumble my life again. I will not be destroyed because of because the familiar, because I'm a product of my environment. Because you called me higher, but I want to stay low. No. I'm going to ride this out the way you told me to ride it out. When I feel uncomfortable, God, what is this? Go to bed. Okay. I'll tell you later. Because sometimes God will do that. Just go to bed. I'll tell you later. Rest on it. And then we'll come back. That was good. All right, sorry. Fear of the unknown delays destiny. Fear of the unknown delays destiny. People be so afraid. When I tell you, stop being scared. For he has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So if he didn't give us that spirit, it's from the devil. Fear not. What are we doing? Why are we afraid? If we say we are believers of Christ, how are we afraid? We are afraid because we're not really probably believers. We just saying we're believers, but we're unbeliever believers. Because you don't really believe in what that Bible actually say. Because you ain't displaying it. You just going to church. You just hopping on a bandwagon. You're not really giving what it is you're supposed to be giving. Trust God. Lean not to your own understanding because it's so minute, it's so limited, it's so little. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but when it comes to the Lord, it's nothing. Sorry. Woo. We must let go of control because ultimately we stay stuck in that familiar place because we are still operating in the spirit of control And it's a spirit. I called it a spirit because it's a spirit. Let it go. Why do you have to control things? Why do it have to go your way? And if it don't go your way, you ain't for it. Let go of control. Not speaking to the visionaries, because my vision is my vision, period. But I'm speaking to people and even visionaries. Let go of control. Because ultimately the control belongs to God. I threw it up. Y'all see? Y'all see how I threw it up? Okay. Obedience before understanding. You may not get it. It may not click to you. But again, that's control when you want it to. I gotta say that. When you want it to, it gotta make sense. Why do it gotta make sense? Why do it gotta make sense? 9 times out of 10, it's not going to make sense. So to be completely honest, obedience before understanding. God, I'm going to obey what I heard, not what I feel. I'm going to obey what I heard, not what I feel. Because God really rarely explains the full blueprint. He don't lay out the full blueprint. He don't do that. He do not lay out the full blueprint. He do not give us the full image. He give us, like I said, that glimpse. I'm sorry. Yeah. But he want to give us that glimpse. Like, excuse me, can you give me a little bit more? No, he cannot. Because ultimately, he's checking to see if you have that faith, like Abraham. Because I gave you the glimpse. I already showed you the promise. So I already showed you something to hold on to. So why you fearing? I gave you something to hold on to. And if you say you believe in me, how you not holding on to that? I gave you that. And then a familiar place is where dependency on God becomes real. It does. Because ultimately you living in fog. I don't know where I'm going. God, I need you to. It's a scripture that I love. It says, trust in the Lord with all of your hearts and lean not into your own understanding, but in all of thy ways, acknowledge him so that he can direct your path. That's what that gave me. It's so unfamiliar. I'm so not used to this. But God said, trust me. Let me show you. Let me show you who I am. Don't even worry about it. And I will close with this. Embrace transitions. Pray for courage. Have courage. Lord, give me courage. And trust God beyond comfort. So don't even pray in comfort. Pray for something that you believe, that you know God got to come through for. Let your prayer be so up here that you ain't comfortable. Oh, I'm very uncomfortable because I just prayed for something that's crazy. Test God. He'll show you. Because maybe the unfamiliar place isn't where you're losing yourself. Maybe it's where God is finally revealing who you are meant to become in that unfamiliar place. So I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I need y'all to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. This was real crazy, y'all, because this is something that I'm living in. We literally have to reject that. We got to reject that familiarity and really be placed in where God wants us to go. Because he wants us to go to some places that's so high we don't even have. Listen, we don't even have room enough to receive it. Like, it's so high. He just like, I want to open this one window and pour out blessings for you. I want to do that for you. But your mind got to get there. I love y'all. Bye.